it's Louise with Louise McCart, and welcome to my channel. Hope everybody's doing good. Today finally feels like a day of spring. I was outside sanding and not freezing my hands off. Normally I've been wearing gloves lately. So this is going to be, hopefully, another fusion piece. And this time I'm going really bigger. Here it is. And this is something that would be like intended over a mantle. So my thought process is I want to do something water related. So that's why I've got all these blues here and these light greens. And my thinking is to do a swipe that'll be about 9 inches in all told for one of them, and then about 5 inches in the other direction. So again, another bloom, but with a swipe this time. So here are my colors. I've got a lot of watercolors, and I haven't decided on a stain yet. My neighbor up the road gave me a whole bunch of stains to look at, so I've got a lot of stains to choose from. So this is Amsterdam's bluish green with Treasure Gold's blue quartz and Golden's blue, cerulean blue deep. This is a combination, which is DecoArt's Sky Blue Topaz, Artez's Pearl Glacier Blue. This here is ColorArt's Wild Berry, and I added to it some Amsterdam's Pearl Sapphire Blue. This is TLP's Sea Glass, and then this is my gold combination, DecoArt's 24 karat combined with Golden's Iridescent Gold. So, yeah, that's my colors. These are the sequence I'm going to lay it down. So when I'm jumping to the smaller of the swipes because the first one ran really long and this one is easier to edit down. So I got to go about 7 inches by 3 inches. So this has got to be pretty narrow, and I'm going to have to count on it stretching. So as usual during my creations, anything extraneous or unimportant I'm going to cut out, and you won't miss what you need to see. It's a whole different dynamic trying to control this type of pour. So I'm just going to lay it down in a straight line. And in a second, I'm going to go on fast speed. Now, this is my Amsterdam's blue-green with Treasure Gold's blue quartz and Golden's cerulean blue deep. All right, now this is DecoArt's Sky Blue Topaz with Artez's Pearl Glacier Blue. This is ColorArt's Wild Berry. This is TLP's Sea Glass. This is gold. So this is my gold combination, 24 karat gold by DecoArt and iridescent gold by Golden. And this is my Bling It from ColorArt abalone shell. And I added this at the last minute, and I sure am glad that I did, because it sure did bling it on. So I've got Australian Floetrol for my cell activator. And I'm going to go boom, boom, boom. Hopefully this will get me all the way across. The last one I had to make some adjustments. I had to go back in with a couple swipes. So we'll see if I can get this in one swoop. Bang off the excess. I don't know which video I'm going to show. This one might be cleaner. Now I'm going to count on this stretching. So everyone, this swipe comes out pretty good on the first try through. I do a lot of playing around that I'm going to cut out. This video is intended to be more focusing on cleaning up the wood with mineral spirits and sanding, but I will show you the finished swipe before we go to the next phase. That's really good. Got to get this tidied up somehow. So I cut out a big chunk here of loading that palette knife. Thought I was going to do a second swipe, but I end up setting it aside in lieu of spinning it out and seeing what happens. Let's just hold that thought for right this second. And let's see what we get. I think I need a little more pillow, but let me do a little sculpting here. So as I sculpt this out to get it to go lengthwise, I'm going to cut out a lot of pieces here, but you're going to see the final before I start to spin. Nice and easy. I'm leaving in the first full spin so you can see the pace that I'm spinning at, but I'll be cutting out some going forward. So because I know the size and the shape I'm looking for, I'm just going to work on sculpting this. So I'm going to skip cut some of this and jump ahead a little bit. But you get the idea of what I'm trying to do here. Let's add a little bit here. I don't mind those big cells. Let's just give it somewhere to go on to, and So I work on this for a little bit with the small palette knife. I'm going to skip some of this out. And what's a pour without pulling out the straw? I know it doesn't look like much, but it just needs a little bit of fine tuning here and directionalizing with the straw. I think we sent it on a spin. Give it one more stretch. Much easier swipe than the first one, that's for sure. You know, you do it a couple times, you're going to get better, I guess. I think this will do. Okay, now when I go to put this thing in bed, I'm going to take all these clips off and lay it flat. I think that's it. See how this one turns out. So here's the piece I'm working on. He's big. He's about 3.5 feet long. And there's the back, which I've cleaned up some. But right now I'm about ready to go over this with a 120 grit sandpaper. And then I'll be coming back for the cleanup. Yeah. By the way, here's one that I've got going on. This thing is about 6 feet long. And I have this really cute one I just got. Well, besides all these guys, and plus I've got more I've been collecting on the road. I've been in a collecting mode because when the trees start to fill in a month, I won't be able to see much of anything. Look at this little guy. He's gonna look really interesting when I get done playing with him. Anyway, so that's enough on sanding. I'll be back for the mineral spirits and the staining portion. I have to decide what color I'm going to use on this one. So I'm back for the mineral spirits section of this video. I'm going to go into a little more detail, but basically I have the mineral spirits that you can pick up from any hardware store. And what it does is it just cleans. It cleans whatever piece of wood you're working on and gets it prepared for whatever stain you're going to put on. So I don't worry, this gets dirty. I'm not worried about that because it's all going to come off in the end. There's little pieces of wood, little bits. But you want to get in really good into the nooks and crannies. Really get in there because you don't want that nook to show itself when you're in the resining process and you find little bits and pieces of little dust particles of wood all over the place. So yeah, that's all I'm doing. I'm just going over this very fully, and I'll do this probably at least twice to make sure I've got it pretty well cleaned up. And that's about it. I mean, I don't want to waste a lot of time doing something that's pretty basic. But you can see what I'm doing in the nooks and crannies. And like I say, at least twice to go through it. And as you're doing this, you're also feeling if you've missed any spots for smoothing over. This is a bad spot right in there I got to get into. Yes, and I feel very fortunate that I have such a bounty of wood at my disposal, because every time we have a storm, there's more trees that fall. There's always debris. And if you've seen me lately on the road walking my dog, I've been crazy picking up pieces of wood, because I know that as soon as everything starts to bloom in about a month, I will be hard pressed to find things, because it'll all be behind the trees and the leaves. Get in there. And you must be getting tired of hearing me say nooks and crannies. But really, when you're working with wood, you really got to get into those nooks and crannies. So yeah, that's about it for this part. This is where we are. It's nice and clean. And this is a big piece. This is at least 3 feet. Okay, I'll be back when I get ready to do the stain portion. All right, in the waning light here, I'm going to try to get this done in front of y'all. I have my special walnut Minwax, and I've already stirred it, but you want to make sure that you stir it, get it fully constituted. I have not used this color before. Oops, there was a chunk. So I'm going to stir it up a little more. You don't want to shake it. Follow the directions on the manufacturer's label. Okay, I want to get going here because I'm losing light, and I want to get this going while I still have light. So I just have a piece of paper, pajamas. It's cloth pajamas. I'm just going to dab it in there, and I'm going to apply it. And this is just the first coat. So I'm going to go and fast forward through this since it's very clear what I'm doing. And as you can surmise, I do most of this stuff outside, the staining, sanding, and mineral spirits, because it's messy and it smells, and I don't want to have that in the workshop. And I'm back for the application of the paint skins. So I'm only going to probably just show one here. I'll do the middle one first, and then I'm going to cut the camera off, because when you've seen one, you've seen them all, essentially. So this is where I'm going to go with it. As you can see, I ended up making a third paint skin for this. This is what the paint skin looks like, you know, it's back. And I have an idea for a new one, for the next one I've got coming up. This is just some matte varnish that I'm just gonna place on here. I guess, can you see anything? Okay. I've just got so much space to play with. So I'm just gonna layer on a good amount here. Just a good layer. Get all the way to the edge. And if I'm not happy with it, I will darken it with a second coat. I'm gonna get the whole thing covered. Oh, I'm losing my light. I'm so sorry. And that's really all I do is, for this part, I just generally where I know it's going to go. The stain, rub it in, rub off any excess, and then let it dry. I've got gloves on. I'll get all around the edges. I don't want to touch it with my hands. Inside the nooks and crannies. I want to put any oils on here. Get it all. I can avoid it. Stained up. At the top, get up in here. But yeah, this is all I do. So everywhere where I think I'm going to possibly have anything showing, I'm going to have it stained. Now the back, I'm not going to worry about. Just leave it. I will do a second coat. Push to the edge. Sit and dry. This is a little bit trickier because it's not really flat here. I want it to stay and stick. This reminds me of a fish. But this is all I do. Let's move him out of the way for right now. Just get it all laid on there. Get it secure. And then I'll go do the next two. So that's it for this portion. That's it. Okay, so I know this is probably not that helpful, but this is after the second layer of resin. I just wanted to capture it real quick. It's been a challenging day because I've got multiple things going on here. So I'll be putting a tent on it, heat lamp, and putting it to bed. So everyone, that's a wrap. Here's the second day after resining, and it's fully finished. And just to point out here, and I didn't show it, I do have to remove a lot of little drips with an X-Acto knife just to clean it up on the bottom. But here you go. Here's a nice up-close view of it. And the reason why I chose this color palette is because this piece reminded me of water. It had a flow to it that just felt like water. That's why I picked this blue palette, and that's why I did a swipe. And I can just imagine this on a mantle of some beach house somewhere. So I hope you enjoyed the video. If you're new here and haven't subscribed, please subscribe, hit the bell and all, leave a comment. I'd like to hear your thoughts, and a thumbs up would be appreciated. And at the very end here, I will have a link for my playlist of other Fusion pieces. So upcoming are my Fusion 1 and 2 pieces, and I'll leave you with the playlist at the end. Thanks a lot, everybody. Take care.